We back.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are back in our bag. Been gone so long, almost forgot what I had. Wiping it down with the rag. My God is good. My girl is bad.
Okay. Happy coffee date. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
How you
y'all.
guys doing this morning? It's Monday. How do we feel about Mondays? I'm excited about Mondays. I've actually gotten to the point where I like Mondays because it's kind of our thing. It's kind of become our thing now. So, hi Jenny. Hi G-Lo. G-Lo.
Jasmine.
Hi Jasmine.
Welcome everybody. Welcome on in. Listen,
So we have no plan whatsoever.
as usual. It just happens that way.
We're logging on and
But I do want to share something this morning about sacrifice. Okay? Sacrifice. You guys know we love Starbucks. Everybody knows we love Starbucks. But ever since this quarantine
hi Brittany.
shutdown thing, I've been drinking more coffee at home, like most people. And not because I'm afraid to get the COVID-19, the Rona from Starbucks.
Hi Charlene.
It's because, have you gone by Starbucks and seen the drive-through lines? Have you seen them? It's not worth a cup of coffee. It just ain't worth a cup of coffee. But, as we are on the topic of sacrifice, this morning my wife says she wants a cup of coffee from,
Starbucks.
yeah.
Today was a Starbucks day. I'm like, I feel like it's a Starbucks day. But here's the thing. To him, waiting in line for 15 minutes for a cup of coffee is not worth it. I totally get that. Why? Because he gets plain roasted coffee. Me, I get a latte. I can't make a latte at home. He can make a plain black cup of coffee here at home.
12 cars deep.
Yeah,
12
so
cars deep.
waiting in line, that's not worth it for him. But for me, to have a latte with soy milk, no foam, sugar-free, just the right perfect temperature, from the people that I know that know me by name at our Starbucks, they're like, "Hi, Kaya." I mean, like he was in the drive-through line, he forgot my order, and so he told them. He said, "I forgot what Kaya orders," and they said, "Oh, it's fine. I know it." Yes, that's worth waiting in line for 15 to 20 minutes, because you know why? There's people I can text. There's phone calls I can make. I'm here for it. I am here for it, you guys.
Let me just, it's worth it to her.
I am here for it.
It's not worth it to me. And then I get in, I'm waiting in line, and now you know that people are coming from the wrong direction, and they want to cut in line with the cars. So now you got cut in line
That
car
is true.
issues.
There should be like some sort of line direction.
Yeah,
thing.
then you got people that are impatient. So I'm dealing with all that. My nerves are already bad. So then right when I get up to order, she calls me on the phone and then makes another request.
Because my granddaughter wanted donuts. So I'm like, honey, Mariah wants a donut. So
Yeah. It's like, you just need to learn how to drink regular coffee.
no. Anyway, how was everybody's weekend? Good to see you guys here. I'm glad you guys are here for the crazy. It's nice being on quarantine because when you're on quarantine, when you don't have anything like else better to do, you just, you chime in on crazy conversations like our coffee date Mondays. So I'm glad you guys are here. Happy to see you guys. Everybody have a good weekend. Anything new? Anything exciting happen?
Nothing new happened.
Hopefully everybody is staying encouraged and, keeping with the positivity and all that. So that's good.
Yeah, all you married couples out there, you guys, hopefully you've been taking some of our advice and actually, it's funny because I do have to say that there's things that Kai and I do and then we give advice and we talk about, and it may not work for some people, but the principles work. So when you hear there's principles that will work, but so many times we try to do exactly what other people do, but your relationship is not a cookie cutter relationship. It's made the way that you and your significant other are together, and you guys got to learn each other and do those things, but the principles remain the same. The methods might be different, but the principles are the same. So we want to encourage that we love to share our ups and downs.
Yeah, we have ups and downs, but the one thing about being married to this guy is he's all about, you know what, we should teach people from this moment. I'm like, my thing is, I'm like, okay, if we're like having a low moment, like I feel like, well, let's figure out how to get back high again before we start teaching. And his principle, his theory that he kind of lives by is like, no, we can teach from all levels. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at and what's going on. Like, there's always something that you can teach and you can give to somebody else. So
Johnny Russo, where you been with the banana bread? Now that I see it, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Johnny Russo makes some good banana nut bread. So I can't wait for the banana bread. Sorry. Go ahead.
I have not a clue what I was saying. So anyway.
She's talking about sharing. And I believe that especially being a pastor, and people got these images of pastors. Some people think, and they look at pastors and they think, man, you got it made. You know, you got these special pastor powers and all this other crazy stuff. And then they go on to believe that you got the formula. You and God are close. And they say all these other kind of things, but that's not the truth. I'm a man just like any other man. My wife's a woman just like any other woman. We deal with the same pressures, the same mistakes. We deal with the same things that everybody else deals with. The difference, I think, is with other people is we are determined. We have a hope because we've set our hope is that we'll die together. We're gonna, just like the Notebook. We're gonna lay down in bed one day, and we're both gonna go together. You know, that's our hope. That's our goal.
Notebook. That's a good movie.
Right, but we definitely we keep our goals in front of us, and we work together through everything. So I feel like if I share my ups and my downs, my successes and my shortcomings, you notice I didn't say failures, my shortcomings, then you guys can learn. I think more people learn from your shortcomings than they do from your successes.
People love people that are real. I get that. I'm totally with that too. And I feel like I feel really grateful that I'm connected to you because I really feel like you've helped me learn that and understand that you don't have to be perfect to turn around to teach or to help somebody. You know, it's all about giving glory to God, no matter where you're at and no matter what level you're on. We're here to bring God glory. So,
and Paul says that I will boast in my infirmities so that the power of God may rest upon me.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I'm going to glory in my mistakes and not glory that, hey, I make mistakes.
Right, that's true.
I'm glorying that the grace of God is on my life to try again.
Yeah.
The grace of God is on my life to learn from what I've messed up on and grow from it.
Yeah, and get better.
Yeah, so we share that. I remember when we got married, I told her, I said, look now, I'm an open book.
And I thought he meant he's an open book for me. Like, I didn't know he meant like I'm an open book for the world. Like,
everybody.
That took a while for me to realize, he's saying he's an open book for everybody. Like, like everybody can see what he has going on. That took a while because, like most people, I come from a family where it's like, you know, especially like the stuff that's not as clean or not as, pristine. You don't just kind of show or showcase it, but John just has a different mentality. He's like, no, I am who I am because of Christ. Like, there's nothing that's in me there's nothing that perfect about me. So I'm just really thankful to be connected to somebody like him. And I feel like all of us can learn from that because I feel like a lot of people have so many things that they can teach and give to people, but they're always waiting until they get to that perfect level type of thing. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, well, when I get to this point or when I reach these goals or when I become this or when I become that, like I want to help somebody. Like, no, we can always help people no matter where we're at. And I feel like a lot of people can get set free with that truth that no matter where you're at, no matter what you got going on, there's always something that you can give to help somebody else, you know?
Hey, Danny. Hey,
Danny, why is your baby so big? I feel like your baby is bigger than you. That you took a picture and I was like, is she holding the baby or is the baby holding her?
Right. Yeah. No, the open book theory, and it's funny when you guys don't judge me when I tell you where I got this from. And I got this years ago before I was saved. And it's something I live by. And it was Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor came out with some confessions. Oh, Lord,
Richard Pryor is your mentor.
You can learn from everybody. You know, it's like the funny thing about it is, you know, what's so funny is people like to dog people because of how they are. But you know what? You can learn more from people on what not to do.
That's true.
Than what to do. But I've learned from these people. And that's the other thing, too.
We've had pastors like that.
If you always stay teachable, you can learn in every moment from any person. And I learned this from Richard Pryor years ago. Yeah, Richard Pryor. So Richard Pryor had
Come
some.
get your uncle, Tira.
Richard Pryor had some pretty embarrassing things that he did while he was inebriated under drugs, and he came out, and we're talking back in the late '70s, and he came out and he just basically started talking about what he had did, and it was career ending for most people. But because he came out and exposed it during an interview and he joked about it and he said a bunch of different things, the guy that was interviewing him looked at him and said, he looked at him and says, dude, why are you doing this? I mean, this could ruin you. And he seriously looked at him. He says, you know what? If I expose my faults, then nobody will ever hold anything against me. So you can't hold, because whatever you do in secret, somebody knows, they're going to hold it against you one day, and then guess what? Now they have power over you. But if you just put it out there, hey, this is what happened, this is what I've done, this is where it's at. They can't hold it against you, and that's the same thing. That's what shame is. And that's what the enemy does. That's what the devil does to us. It's like we do things like our past.
Our mistakes. Yeah.
And we try to hide that to keep people from judging us, and we worry so much, and we get that disease to please people. And because we have that disease to please, we want to hide it. But then all of a sudden, here comes the devil or the enemy and says, I know a secret about you. And unless you do this, or unless you go this way, or unless you do that, then I'm going to expose you.
Yeah.
So why not just expose it?
And so you live under the thumb of that.
Yeah.
You live under the thumb of the areas that you don't want to be revealed and stuff to other people. So, like I said, I'm just really thankful to be connected to somebody like you that taught that, because, like, honestly, I don't know a lot of pastors like us. I'm not trying to be like those kind of people that talk about, like, I don't know, there ain't no pastors like us. But literally, I don't know pastors that are more open to sharing some of their mistakes, or sharing, or being more open, being an open book. Most pastors are very guarded, very into how things look. And I'm just thankful that we're not one of those, because it's so much easier to live a life that's just like with freedom, freedom from that disease to please people, because we want to please the Lord. I don't want God to be my people. I mean, people to be my God. Right. I want God to be my God. So
for sure. And we were talking earlier about sharing and how we've been sharing. And I think this is a good topic now that I think about it. Let's talk about sharing.
Is sharing caring?
Is sharing caring?
Okay, here's the thing. Can you say, here's the thing. If we take a poll and ask couples, have you always been 100% faithful to your spouse? What will your answer be? 100% faithful to your spouse. Now, what would you say?
I know where you're going.
Yeah. Okay, but answer the question the way most people would answer the question.
Most people?
Yeah. And they'd say,
yes,
They'd
I've
say
been
yes.
faithful.
Okay, so most people would say, yes, I've been 100% faithful to my spouse. And the interesting thing is that I feel like a lot of times people don't realize that there's different levels to intimacy that they don't realize.
There's
right?
different levels of infidelity.
Yeah, of infidelity. And so cheating is not just a physical act. Cheating is, there's levels to this thing. And so we want to talk to you guys about that, because we want every single couple to be able to answer the question with, yes, I have been 100% faithful, in all areas.
Yeah. So, with that, I think where Kai is going with that is, a lot of times we give people things that doesn't belong to them. When I gave myself to my wife, when we stood on the altar, I gave her all of me. And it's not just a physical aspect that, hey, I'm yours physically. No, I'm hers emotionally. I'm hers mentally. And, when I have problems or whatever it is, if I'm down or I'm disappointed, that she is the one that I go to, because it's still a form of intimacy, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental. And what happens a lot of times, I believe, and this is where people don't think they're cheating, is that a man or a woman, when they're not getting what they need emotionally, we're not even talking about physically, emotionally,
Yeah.
conversationally, whatever it is, intellectually,
Yeah.
they will turn around and they will go and they'll find somebody
And connect themselves.
with them emotionally, intellectually, whatever, and don't realize that that person doesn't deserve that. That's not theirs, and it's not mine to give to somebody else. It belongs to my wife. So if I do that, and this is why the question says, John, have you ever cheated? And then of course, what are you going to say? No, I've never slept with anybody, but that there's other levels. Have you ever emotionally opened up to somebody that you shouldn't have been emotionally opening up to? Have you shared some things that you shouldn't be sharing with other women? You just know you shouldn't be sharing.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
And the thing is that we have a blended family, which always brings interesting layers within itself, right? So in layman's terms, it's we have baby mamas, right? Okay, so for those of you that have baby mamas or baby daddies or whatever,
baby daddy.
that makes you a blended family. And so with blended family, there comes these interesting layers that come with things, and you have to be sure that the boundaries are in place. Like if you are if you're getting married to somebody that has children from previous relationships, there needs to be a lot of prayer, and there needs to be set boundaries in place so that there is no illegal connections. Now, let me explain, because usually when someone's saying, oh, you're cheating, or you're crossing some boundaries, they're thinking it's something like an affectionate type of thing. Like maybe there's an affection through emotion, or there's this connection through intellect, and I just want to talk to them. No, it's passion. It's passion. So say some of you may have some baby mamas or some baby daddies, and you get on the phone and you're talking about whatever. Maybe you're talking about the schedule, and you're having this disagreement on who said, he said, she said, whatever, about money or whatever. And all of a sudden things become heated, right? Now all of a sudden somebody's upset and they're yelling on the phone and they're la 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 la, right? And they're getting passionate. Hold on a second. You just crossed a boundary, because when there's passion involved, whether it's the good kind of passion or the angry kind of passion, either way, it's passion, and that doesn't belong across that boundary.
Right.
You've just crossed a boundary. Passion belongs in the relationship that that you're in covenant with, not outside of that.
So I think to say it best is, no other person deserves to have control over your emotions in that manner, except for your spouse. And you know, when you sit down and you get when you allow another woman or somebody else, in my case another woman, in her case another man, to get her angry, frustrated, and all that, they own a part of her.
They just had had some power.
That's what I'm saying. They own you. They own that part of you, and
that's unauthorized.
And as a husband,
that is unauthorized.
As a husband, it makes you upset. What's going on that this other person gets my wife this angry?
Rile you up.
Nah, that ain't right. And it's the same thing with the woman. What is it about this other woman that's got my husband so riled up? And it's up to us to make sure that other people don't have that place in us to make us get that passion.
And so the boundaries are super important, especially when you're in a blended family, because if you don't have those boundaries, then people feel like they can just cross those boundaries and come and poke at you and prod at you and get you all upset. Because the thing is that a lot of times in some of these relationships with these baby mamas and these baby daddies and these broke bobs and these broke betties, is they're like, if they can't have you one way, which is in this physical good way, well, I'm going to have him in another way. But either way, it's passion, and it's unwarranted. It's unauthorized. It is illegal. So getting control of our emotions and setting those healthy boundaries before you pick up that phone to talk about the visitations, before you pick up that phone to talk about the financial issues or whatever, first of all, maybe you should put somebody else on the line for some accountability. Maybe you should write a letter. Maybe you should send it in a text message where emotions are able to be more leveled out. But you want to be careful that you're not crossing boundaries or allowing other people to cross boundaries with you, because they should never have that much control over your emotions like that. It doesn't belong to them, and it's not, and it's not a healthy access.
Yeah, so you got to be careful what you share with the opposite sex. And also, we can go on this other term too. Kai and I, we have a great marriage. I think we have a wonderful marriage. Matter of fact, I think we have the best marriage that I know of. And of course, I'm biased.
Have you guys ever heard of this study about men, the men version and the woman version? Like, men always think, yeah, everything's great. We're
On a scale of 1 to 10,
how's your marriage?
How's your marriage? A man will say, man, our marriage is great.
10.
No, they're like, it's an 8, man.
Yeah.
It's an 8.
Right. And then the woman will come by and be like, it's more of like a 5. Or like, he's like, what? It's a what? I thought it was like... So there's this thing about men's version of, because they have these boxes they check about, yeah, we got this, check, we're good to go, move on to the next thing. Like, but women are like, well, let's really explore this. I do feel like we could use a little bit more in this area or whatever. So according to John, our marriage is perfect.
No, I didn't say perfect. I say we have a good marriage, and I think we have one of the best marriages I know.
I agree. I like our marriage. I'll do a commercial for our marriage.
So, and I mean, and what's crazy too is when people say, well, there's no such thing as a perfect marriage. And I disagree with that totally, because if you don't know what a perfect marriage is, then your marriage is never going to get to the level you want it, because a perfect marriage isn't a marriage where somebody doesn't argue and somebody doesn't disagree. That's not a perfect marriage. Isn't where somebody doesn't look at and go, I'm a little tired of you now. That's not a perfect marriage.
Or if they never disagree, like, you know what I mean, like,
yeah,
as if like disagreeing makes the marriage not perfect.
Right, and but the thing is, a perfect marriage is we disagree, but we're still in agreement. A perfect marriage is we can still be mad at each other, but we realize that our love and our unity is much greater than our anger for each other.
It's the trump card in everything.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people need to learn how to fight well. I don't like to use the term fight with couples. Oh, see, he's checking my coffee usage because that's his way of saying I'm talking a lot.
No, because we were on a subject and she just made a left turn.
Okay, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
You interrupted me. You started talking about banana bread, but okay, go ahead.
All right. Anyway, so sharing is caring, but you guys have to realize there's certain things that you don't share. So the point I was getting to with Kai and I, we have a great relationship.
Oh, I like that, Tyra. Our marriage is purposeful.
And we enjoy each other. But there's certain things in our relationship that I will not share with you guys. I won't share with my buddies.
That's a good point.
I won't share. There's just things that belong behind closed doors and need to stay in it. It's like,
that's a good point.
People, they talk about the gospel. It's like, it's so good, I got to run and tell somebody. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But when it comes down to certain intimacies, it's so good.
It's so good.
I can't tell nobody. All I can do is just thank God. That's all I can do.
You just gotta thank the Lord about it. But like, Lord, I just want to talk to you about how good.
Yes, Lord. Thank you.
Is. I can't call nobody. I can't call my best friend and tell them how great this marriage is right now. But I'm just gonna talk to Jesus. But no, that's a good point, because some people they have like best friends before they got married, and some people feel like, well, this person was my best friend before I even met you, so almost kind of feel like they're supposed to show more loyalty to this friend or to this connection that they had prior to the marriage. Mm-hmm. And almost like, well, I share everything with them, and I've been sharing things with them since I was little, before I even knew you. It doesn't matter. When we get married, we're in a covenant with our partner, with our spouse. We're not in a covenant with a bunch of people and people that knew us since preschool. That doesn't matter. It's a covenant that's watched after God, and there's certain things that's protected, mm-hmm. and boundaries are important for a reason, for lots of good reasons.
You don't want to be sitting down telling your homeboy about you and your wife's business, mm-hmm. and you're all excited about it. How do you think he's going to look at her the next time he sees her?
That's not okay.
You're the one that's actually poking lust into him. And sharing things. You don't do that, ladies. And I'm telling you right now, if you got a good man, you can tell your friends how good of a man he is and how he takes care of you. But you got to remember, you can't just keep talking about it, mm-hmm. because they're gonna want what you got, especially if they're miserable.
Yeah.
And they're gonna find a way. They're gonna find somehow, some way to be able to get in. And the cold part about it is when you keep running to your friends with your problems and sharing, and they hear what he's complaining about to you, they're going to be able to go behind your back and meet the needs about what he's complaining about. And this is the same thing with men and women and vice versa.
And sometimes it's not something that's like for malice. It's not like, a lot of times it's like, say you have this prior best friend, somebody that was your best friend way before, your spouse or whatever, and you're just like, well, I know they really care about me or whatever. But the thing is that, and you're telling them about all this stuff, it's not like they're like meaning to like try to take your person or your whatever, but it's almost like, it's like this, it's just like planting a seed that is almost inherent for them to like, well, I know they feel like they're lacking this, so maybe I'll be more of a better listener. And then all of a sudden, just because how things get perverted or whatever, or either way, it's just important to have those healthy boundaries in our relationships, no matter what.
All relationships.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, if I can share.
Oh Lord, here we go. Is it getting darker?
It's the sun's moving. So yeah. So if you guys, we have this big issue. Just as a side note.
Ebony.
Right.
And ivory.
Yeah. So we
on
got
all the pictures I disappear.
Yeah. Or vice versa. If we lighten it up so to see her, then I look all bright.
Can't anybody see him?
Yeah. Like crazy. So
we
you guys just bear with us.
We just hit a detour again.
Yeah. So anyway, what are we talking about?
I don't
Sharing.
know.
So my wife, I'm gonna tell you this was wise. My wife. One time, this after our 4th year of marriage, we got into this big thing. Okay, and I'm making a long story short. And instead of, now Kai's an only child, and her and her mother have had a great relationship, and because I offended her, and I had an odd against her, or she had an odd against me. Naturally, you want to run to your best friend or your mother and tell them about what that man has done to you. Or you want to run to your dad or your homie and, man, you know what this girl just did? Or a family member. And it seems natural. But my wife did one of the wisest things ever. She literally, instead of calling her mom, she called somebody that loved me.
Yeah. That'll always love him.
That will always love me.
And that will always take his side.
Yeah. The reason why is because, we could be mad at each other for the moment. And when we go tell our mom, our dad, and our family members, our best friends, we tell them what they did to us. Now our best friend is taking on that offense.
And they're holding on to it.
And they're going to hold on to it. But watch this. But you're going to end up forgiving.
Yep.
So you end up forgiving, you work it out.
And your friends are like,
and your friends are like, no.
I'm just
and
waiting
your
for them
mama,
to do it again.
your mama, your mama's done with that person.
Yeah.
So you got to be wise about who you share certain things with when that comes up. You really don't want to just, be so emotional. Here goes the thing, self-control. You got to control your mouth.
I feel like people don't realize how important self-control is to have in relationships. Self-control is very important because sometimes we can, in these temporary situations of being angry, say some permanent things, some things that can cause some permanent damage in our relationship. And just because we lacked self-control,
Yeah. And I like Dr. John Harris basically said, you don't have to learn self-control. People will try to tell you can teach yourself self-control. Well, no, the self-control is a byproduct of having the Spirit of God in you. It's part of the fruits of the Spirit.
It comes with the Spirit.
If you submit yourself to the Spirit of God, then self-control is one of the fruits of it. So that's where we need to basically focus more on submitting ourselves to the Spirit of God instead of then sitting around doing yoga and everything else to try to get self-control.
Yeah. I can't see me. Can y'all see me?
I can see you, honey.
I can't see me.
You want to sit closer?
Yeah, I need the light from your face to like shine on me so I can see me. I can't.
That
See,
was
look at
Did you guys notice that? Watch this. Watch this.
It literally
watch,
worked.
Watch.
Oh my.
Hopefully y'all are laughing with us. Scoot over closer, man.
Yeah,
Scoot
they're
closer.
not. They're like, these people are
We crazy.
absolutely crazy. Okay. So anyway, yeah, oversharing, making sure we keep boundaries in our relationship is very, very important. And I mean, Atiba brought up a really good point about friends of the opposite sex, because I feel like we should talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Because some people have these really best friends or these good friends that are the opposite sex before they get married, and they're like, well, I mean, Roger was there before you. Like, he's my best friend. Like, and Roger's helpless. I mean, it's harmless. That's what or Roger's gay. So they feel like, well, Roger's like harmless. Like, no, make sure you setting some boundaries with Roger, just like everybody else, you know? So, you want to talk about that? How do you feel about having friends of the opposite sex with relationships?
It happens. Some people grow up with other people. They're friends, but they say they're like family. Mm-hmm. But once again,
they ain't family.
No, but right. But watch this. It doesn't mean you have to cut them off, but it does mean you have to create new boundaries.
New boundaries.
So it's like once again, it also depends upon where your husband or wife is with that. But personally, for me, there's going to be some really good, healthy boundaries.
I'm going back to the Bible on this one. The Bible says,
what does it say?
Let your good intentions not be spoken evil of. Don't let your good intentions
No, I understand that.
Of.
I understand that, but
so when people see you riding around town, going to Ross or whatever with Roger,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about healthy boundaries. And so, for instance, if that person comes over for dinner with the whole family, that's different.
Yeah.
If we all go to the movies together, that's different.
Yeah, Roger can come if my husband coming.
Right.
But
right.
Me and Roger not about to be kicking it.
And you and Roger ain't gonna be sitting on the phone late at night.
No, we're not. We're not talking about. We're not talking about fashion. We're not talking about eyeshadow.
You and Roger or Raj.
Roger better find a new best friend. So.
Roger's the straight one. Raj.
Raj.
Yes,
oh.
Yeah.
But I feel like with friends of the opposite sex, it's not like that there's any trust issues. It's just what the Bible says. Don't let your good intentions be spoken evil of. Even if it's harmless, it doesn't matter. Boundary setting, healthy boundaries are important because you don't want anyone to think that, you know how some people always run with the extreme of what you're doing? Oh, we can have all kind of boyfriends and girlfriends when we're married because the pastors are doing it. Like, you guys know how that is.
Right.
The Bible says just don't let your good intentions be spoken evil of. So just healthy boundaries, cut it off, keep it safe.
No Rogers or Reginas.
No Rogers, no broke Bobs, and no broke Bettys. Yeah. Let them get some new friends.
I'll tell you.
Or hook them up with your single friends.
I thought what was funny one time is somebody saw me riding around town with another woman, and it got out, and that other woman was my sister, Jackie, who we looked just alike.
Yeah, but they didn't put that together.
They didn't put it together. Mm-mm. It's like, it's okay because she's my sister. Yeah,
or we can even talk about when you've met a woman like at Starbucks, like friends that are Starbucks and people know us. So usually he gets the normal high, but it was like he was getting this like on Color Purple. Who this woman? Who this woman? It's like, you just got to be careful to not let your good intentions be spoken evil of. It's like, make the explanations known. This is my sister. This is my cousin so-and-so. She visiting from wherever. Like, let it be known. Because if people are wandering around wondering, like, who this?
Who is this?
Who this woman?
Yeah, so you guys got to protect always set up boundaries in every situation, every relationship, whether it's male or female. Mm-hmm. And don't overshare your stuff, man. Mm-hmm. Definitely don't overshare. Because you start oversharing, then, people are going to start picking up what you got. And if you share so much, watch this. People are going to start taking stuff instead of asking for it. Oh, he always shares. They don't mind.
Ooh.
So like, oh, okay, he don't mind. He shares everything else.
Wow. So it's more of like boundaries are important, not just for keeping things safe, but also for like protecting. And like in every relationship or everything that's precious in our life, like we have an alarm system on our house. Why? Because we value it and we care about our house. So placing boundaries and healthy boundaries, it protects our relationship, which is important to us. So just because I trust John with my whole heart, I trust him. Like literally, like there has been people that have walked up to me and be like, I think your husband is the most handsome. Like they're just like so open with it. And I'll be like, girl, ain't he though? Like, I trust my husband so much. Like we don't have like a big jealousy thing. Like we laugh a lot of things off. However, there are healthy boundaries that we place in our relationship and in our lives because we value this relationship, not because we lack trust, but because we value it and we don't want, anything to be stolen or anything to be violated or anything to be touched that shouldn't be touched.
And the last thing I want is her to start feeling insecure in this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? There's nothing I love more than a secure man. I love the fact that my husband is so confident. Like, a lot of times we joke and we make jokes about him being a know-it-all because he just, he thinks he's the MD, like a doctor. Like, literally, you tell him something wrong with your foot or something going on with your blood pressure or whatever, he will literally give you a whole diagnosis. Like, he'll tell you what to do, like tell you what meds you should take, like, and
Army training.
Dude, he be confident too. He'd be like, look, let me tell you what you need to do. Like, he be super serious. And we laugh about it. But can I just tell you, like, there's something, I love that about him. I love his confidence. And I'm not sure if any men are on here or any women are on here that sometimes lack confidence. I want to tell you that confidence is very attractive. Nobody wants to have to take the place of your self-esteem.
That's why they call it self-esteem.
Self-esteem belongs to
yourself.
Like, no one should have to do that job. Like, I don't want my husband to have to love me and then love me for me too. Like, I want him to love me for him. Like, I want him to love me because he chooses to love me. Not, well, I'm going to have to love her for me, but then I'm also going to have to love her for her and tell her, hey, you're this, you're that. You can do, like, no. There's a part that I play with my confidence that attaches to his confidence, and together we make a great team. Like, I don't want him to have to cross any lines to be something to me that's not fair for him,
Too much work.
So you guys, if you're lacking confidence, I want to tell you something. Your confidence in yourself is very important. It's very important because guess what? We don't need each other. Like, I know it sounds weird and it sounds a little bit rude, but I don't need John. I don't need him. But the best part about it is that I choose him. I choose him. I need God. Like, that's who I need. That's the relationship that I need. That's the covering that I need. I'm desperate for it. I'm hungry for it. I continue to long and strive and cultivate my relationship with the Lord. But I choose John, and I never want to get to a point with my self-confidence to lack to a point where I start to feel like I need to hear how much he cares about me, or I need to hear that he thinks I'm pretty or that he thinks I'm important. No, I choose him. I hear my affirmations from the Lord because I spend time with him in the secret place, and the Lord washes over me. The Lord gives me life showers, and I come out of my prayer closet feeling confident, feeling bold, feeling courageous because the Lord has spoken into my heart. And then I get with John, who in this relationship that I choose, and then he speaks these words over me. It's like, it's the blessing. It's the pressed down, shaken together, running over kind of blessing and overflow that we're supposed to have in our life. But when our confidence is broken within ourselves, you guys, I'm telling you, it puts your relationship with anybody, with your kids, with your mama, with your daddy, with your boss, with everybody, into a place that's unhealthy, and it's not fair for everybody else that's attached to your life. Come attached with self-confidence. There's certain toys that I get for my kids. I read the box. What does it come with? Because if I have to go out and look for the batteries, for the this, for the that, for the this, like when I look on the commercial, it says that it's supposed to do this, but then I look on the box and it's lacking this, it's lacking that, it's lacking that. That's what happens with us. So here it is. I've chosen this relationship with my husband, and he's reading the box, and I'm lacking this, I'm lacking. Dude, that's too much. I'm putting this back up on the shelf. Self-confidence, self-esteem, we need to come attached and assembled with that. That needs to come with us.
Yeah, you can't let somebody else build your self-esteem.
Never.
At all, because once that happens, I'm gonna tell you what, people that are insecure and lack self-esteem, when they're in relationships, the person that's constantly having to build up your self-esteem, that constantly, look, if I don't say this, they're gonna start feeling insecure, sitting in a corner and doing all this other stuff. And you can't trust an insecure person. Right. That's one thing. You can't trust an insecure person because they're going to go where they find security at.
Wow.
And if you and maybe you're in a place where you get to a point you're just tired of trying to fill this person up to make them feel better about themselves, then you get tired in the relationship. It gets played, and nobody wants to do that. So our job basically is to build our own self-esteem, and that's knowing who we are.
Yes. And where does that come from?
Well, it comes from the word because,
Yes.
you know, and I think I said it this weekend. In the Bible, God said, I fearfully and wonderfully made you.
Yeah.
And then he celebrated after he created you. He said, how marvelous
Are
are
my
my
works.
works.
That's good.
He rejoiced.
God stood
in
back and was
making
like,
you.
woo!
Yeah, it's like he made a masterpiece. And there's nothing like you. And we have to find our confidence in that. We need to find our confidence in our body size, our shape, the way we look,
our color,
every gray hair, everything. We need to find confidence that we're unique and that God rejoices over me and that there's no man and no woman that can make me better, that can make me more whole than God makes me.
That's right.
And once you start finding that confidence and operating in it, you could tell a person that has confidence just by the way they walk. Your confidence will change your walk. Your confidence makes you look up. Your confidence says, I deserve better than the situation I'm in right now.
Come on,
Because
yes.
there's so many people in relationships and they're only staying in their relationship because they need the other person.
Yeah.
They need that person. And since inside them they have convinced themselves that they need that other person, they put up with abuse. They put up with bad character. They put up with all kinds of things. There's no need for it.
That's right.
So if you have self-confidence and know who you are and rejoice in who you are the same way the Lord rejoices in who you are, then you'll be able to demand things in your life and you'll receive those things that you demand. This is what I deserve, somebody that loves me, that will take care of me.
Because it comes with the standard that you've set for yourself.
For yourself,
like
the boundary.
It comes with the standards.
Yeah.
Like there's a certain amount, there's a certain type of way that I'm supposed to be treated because that comes with the standard of who Kaya is. When John married Kaya, he knew this is the kind of woman I'm getting, and there's a certain standard that comes with that. Like he has this whole long, elaborate story about how he picked out my wedding ring, you guys. Like it's a hoot. Like it is a riot. The way he picked out the ring, where he got it from, the trouble he went through to get it, because he was like, the kind of woman that I'm marrying, she deserves that kind of ring. We should tell them the story, but not right now. But it's a long story, you guys. But the thing is that when he says things like that to me, like it blesses me, because the thing is that I don't have to go around telling him, let me tell you what kind of woman I am. Let me tell you the standard I'm supposed. No, my confidence walks into the room before I even get there. There's something about what I carry on the inside of me because my father gave it to me that sometimes walks in before I even get there. Just like you said, like it's in a walk, like it's something that's unspoken. I don't have to demand to be treated a certain way because it's already in me. The standard has already been set by my father, and I get my affirmation and my identity from him, not the one I choose, but the one I serve and the one that I'm connected to, the one that I'm from. And not only that, but when we're always looking for something from our spouse and from our mate that's unhealthy, we've heaped up for ourselves a God. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, John was never built to be Kaya's God. Like, he can't. He can only do so much. Why? Because he has to serve God for himself. So if I'm looking for John to be all these things to me, check off all these boxes for me constantly, it's unfair to him because he loves me so much. I promise you guys, John will try. He will try because I know who my husband is. I know the kind of heart he has. He has a heart to serve. He will do his absolute best to try to be everything to me that I want him to be. But it's not fair to him because he's not my God. He can't not do that. He can only be the husband that God has called him to be for me. The rest of everything that I need has to come from my master, has to come from my Father, my Heavenly Father. So we have to be careful not to heap up for ourselves. God, the Bible says that the people heap up for themselves. Prophets and teachers and people that they want to hear from because they have itching ears, and there's certain things that they want to hear, and there's certain things that they want them to say, and certain ways they want them to say it, and they heap up for themselves. And it's like, because the thing is that if I heap up for myself and make John my God, now I have to worship him. Now I have to, serve him in ways that I'm supposed to be serving my Father in heaven. And it's just all around unhealthy, and we don't want to create things like that in our lives.
Not at all.
Because it's just walking disasters.
Yeah.
Ticking time bombs,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just wanted to let you finish.
I drank all my coffee.
Exactly. So I'm not even going to say nothing. I was letting her go. She was like, woo.
I drank it all. I drank all my coffee. And then
fast.
all my words came out like all at once.
Yeah.
He says he wants to have coffee date, but then I'm drinking the coffee, y'all, and then I got all these words loaded up now.
And I've learned, for you men that are watching, you need to learn. Just you see how I sat back and didn't say nothing.
You're amazing.
I just kept quiet.
That's why, because you're amazing.
But watch this. Watch this. You guys also need to learn too. Just because she has a self-esteem doesn't keep me from not affirming her. So affirmation just means I'm agreeing with what already she feels about with herself.
Yeah.
So I tell her how much, how beautiful she is and how much she means to me and all this other stuff. That's already evident, but I still speak it. It's definitely confirmation.
Because I've already heard it from the Lord.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Or we wanted to share, and
Yeah.
Kai definitely shared this morning, which is good. Yeah. Marianne, she's drinking her coffee too. Yeah. So with that, you guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to be said.
I think I used all my words.
She did. Yeah.
I love y'all.
Hey. Hey, you guys. I just,
And I still can't see me. It's like I'm like in the
you
shadows.
got to get close again. There it goes.
There it
Boom.
is. That is crazy. Wow.
I don't have that problem being light skinned.
If you guys don't mind, like if you don't mind, if you're drinking coffee, like take a little selfie of yourself with your coffee cup and put it in the comments. We'd love to see your face with your coffee, just so we can feel like, well, Ariel drank all her coffee, but take a selfie with your empty coffee mug and put it in the comments so we can see you guys. Because one, we love the fact that you are on here, but we would love to see your faces too. I think we should start doing that since we're gonna do this Coffee Date Monday thing, and I know I'm doing it in faith. Y'all need to start sharing your selfies with your coffee mug and faith too in the comments. Like, I want to see you guys too.
Yeah. The other thing is, I know a lot of times we sit down and we talk about ourselves and what we do, what we like, and all other things. But if you guys ever have any questions about relationships
Or topics you want us to talk about.
or topics, just inbox us or just shoot it on the comments and we'll look at it. And we'll answer it to the best of our ability. We're by no means professionals.
No, not at all. Can't you
nothing
tell?
Like that.
Can't you tell we're not professionals?
Yeah, it's just we'll share with you whatever wisdom we have. And you know what? If you got a relationship issue, and we know some great counselors if you need it. So you guys let us know.
Yeah.
What's up with you? We really do this not to bring attention to ourselves, but we really value relationships. We value the marriage. We value even our singles that desire to be married and are looking for somebody, or maybe you're not looking for somebody, just saying, I'm waiting to see what God's going to do. We value that, all those things, and we just want to be able to pour into your lives, and that some way you can get some wisdom to live your life better, not to settle. Being in a relationship isn't like buying a house or a car. People will try to compare it. You like, oh, I wanted a 5-bedroom, but I'll deal with this 4-bedroom. That's okay. But when it comes down to being married, you don't settle.
No.
You can't settle. So we just wanted to share that with you. Tamaja, you're late. Sorry, you just got on.
How you gonna bust Tamaja out like that?
Because she knows I love her.
Poor
She knows
Maisha.
I love her.
I love you. Like, Maisha, I miss you.
Yeah.
We love you too, Marianne. Thanks for logging on, girl.
Yeah, for sure. So
I love all your workout videos, Marianne. Post more workout videos. It's cool.
So do you have anything else to say?
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So we'll be back next Monday.
Love you guys.
You guys join us tomorrow for Bible study.
Yep.
And I'm not even done with my coffee. So join us for Bible study tomorrow.
Yep.
My granddaughter's here today. We've had her overnight.
Yep.
And
she's looking at us.
She's looking at us right now. Like, come on.
She's looking at us like, okay, that's enough of coffee day. Y'all need to start paying attention.
Come on,
to me.
Tata. Come on, Nana.
We love you guys. Thank you guys for logging in to our crazy. We love y'all. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. We're just gonna pray and ask the Lord to just kind of give you something out of all that. So join us next Monday. We'll be here. We've been logging on around 11:30.
Yeah.
Quarantine edition. So yeah.
Gates.
So make sure you come and check us out next week. Bring your coffee mug with you, even if it has water in it. Just bring your coffee mug with you and just hang out with us and
just
chat.
take a picture and you throw up a peace sign. Whatever.
Yeah.
Chop it up with the butchers.
Love you guys. Have a great week.
Love y'all. Bye.